Hi, it's Jenny from Buggy Baby, and today I'm taking a look at the Hauck E-Batmobile. Now this is part of Hauck's new range of toys, and they have got a huge new range of toys, really great stuff, especially for gifts, for Christmas, for birthdays. And we are going to today get this out of the box, put it together. I believe there's quite a lot of assembly that's needed for this, and then we can take a look around it and see what it does. We retail this at £199.99. It's fully automatic, so there's no pedalling involved. It works with the accelerator pedal, and then your child can just go off. It only goes at 2.5 miles per hour, so they'll be perfectly safe. And I believe you have to charge it up before you can get it going, and then it's got about 300 runs to each charge, so it's got quite a good life for the battery. So suitable from 3 years of age upwards. And let's get it out of the box and have a look. Right, I've got everything out of the box. So it comes in one big piece of plastic, and then all of this is inside of that plastic. So we can see here we've got quite a lot of different parts, and there looks to be quite a lot of assembling that we need to do for this. So we've got our instructions here, and I'm definitely not going to try and do this without the instructions, because we've kind of got to put the motor together and everything on this, so we need to do it properly. So here are our instructions. Let's have a look and see what it's telling us to do to start with. So I can see here we've got a list of components that we need to have inside of the box. So this is all of this stuff here. And let's get to the first bit. Okay, so here are our instructions. So I can see here we've got diagrams to follow, and we are going to need to, by the looks of it, put the wheels on first. And inside this bag, we've got a wrench which is going to use to tighten up all of the nuts, and then we've got all of the bolts and everything inside of this bag. Okay, first part of the instructions is telling us we need to put on the front wheels. So all of the wheels appear to be the same. From what I can see, they all look the same. And to put the wheels on, we are going to need to get ourselves these Batmobile bits here, which I think are decorational for the wheels, because we've got 4 of those, so that would makes sense that this is this part in the diagram. Right, so let's get those out. Okay, right. On here, it's telling us that we need to have these parts here. So a washer and then like a nut bolt, which I believe is already attached. So I think we need to, if you can just see here, release this. Take that out. Let's get a washer ready. And then you're going to put a washer on first. Then a wheel. So, yeah, so it's going to have to go in this way. Get a bit closer. Let's put it up on its side and see if it's easier to do. There we go. Okay. Pop this in. Oof, okay, right. And then next up on there, we need to use the washer and the nut bolt. So we need another washer. And we just get so you can see it. So the washer's going on there, the nut bolt's going on, and I think we can use this to tighten it. I don't even know if I'm doing this the right way around, because I'm not great at these sorts of things, but let's give it a go. And then after that, this should slot on. Okay, so let's get it as tight as we can. There we go. And it looks to me like we're just going to pop them on, match up these little pieces here, and they'll pop into place. There we go. First wheel on. Right, so let's turn it round and do the next front wheel on the other side. Okay. So if you were going to buy this as a present, worth noting that you will have to put it all together, so they're not going to get to use it straight away. And as I mentioned at the start, because it needs to charge up for 15 hours before you can get any use out of it, you might want to think about putting it together first, charging it up, and then popping it back in the box so that when your child opens it, they can use it straight away. Because we all know how impatient our children can be when they're waiting for something to be put together, and they probably won't be too happy to find out they've got to wait 15 hours before they can use it. So definitely worth thinking about. Right, so the next wheel, we've got a good idea of how this goes now after that first one. So we're going to take off this. We need to get our washer on. Then we need to make sure the wheel's on the right way round. So this is the front, this is the back. On that goes. Then we need another washer on there. Then on the nut bolt goes like this, and we can tighten that up. Okay, and then we get our little decorative Batmobile part on. Them into the right place. There we go, and they just click in. So front wheels are done. Right, so next on the instructions, we're going to put on the rear wheels, and looking here, it's telling us that we need to put this part, which is some sort of motor, onto the right hand side of the rear wheel. Right, so looking at that diagram, let's get it in the same position they've got it on, like that. And then we're going to have to take this nut bolt off. And it looks like we feed this through, feed the wire through, pop this on. Okay. So if you can see there, we have just put it through the spike, and then there's a hole here which the wire's going through, and this part of the motor can then sit in. Right. So after that, we then need to put the wheels on. So that's the same process that we used on the front wheels. So we need to get a washer on first. Then we need to pop our wheel on the right way. Remember, this way round. And you can see here, this is just going to fit into this white casing. There we go. Let's slot that in. Okay. So you kind of have to push that in, make sure it's in properly. And then obviously that looks like the motor to make the rear wheels go round. So next up, another washer on top, then the bolt. I reckon this is going to need quite a bit of turning on here to make sure we've got it secure. I don't think I can go much tighter than that. And then our Batmobile part goes on. Click that into place. There we go. Okay, let's get the other rear wheel on. So let's spin this round. I can see that's all in nice and secure. So this obviously hooks up to the battery or something like that. We'll work that out in a bit. Ooh. And then for our other wheel, okay, so there's for some reason there's already a washer attached on this side. I don't know why that is. Maybe that's to make sure you put the motor in on the right side. I don't really know, but that washer's already in there. So we just need to pop the wheel on. We need our last washer and the nut bolt, and we need to tighten that on. And then lastly, our last little Batmobile wheel cover will click into place. So that is all 4 wheels on, and now let's have a look at all the rest of the parts we've got and put them all together. Right, so we need to connect all of these together, and you can see inside here there are directions of how to do it, and also you have them on the instructions as well of how to put this part together. So it looks to me like we are connecting these 2 parts. Okay, right, so these 2 parts push together, and then these 2 parts should push together as well. Okay, so I can see here, you kind of just match it up so that it slots together. So you can see I've got like a little indent here, and then I've got a little raised part here. So they would just connect together, and then it's going to slot into this little hole. Okay, there we go. Right, so that looks like it's all connected now. Let's see what we've got to do next. Right, so next up we are going to put on the wing mirrors, which are here. I assume that these might all light up once it's all been charged up, because there's little lights on there. Yeah, you'd think so, wouldn't you? There we go. So these are the wing mirrors. Let's have a look at our instructions, make sure we get them on right. So we've got one, they're going to slot in. One there. One there. And then this is a flashing light for the front, so that's going to slot into place as well. There we go. And then next up we're going to connect the steering wheel, which is here. Here's our steering wheel. Oh, it looks like it's going to play music as well. Right, so I have got the screw and the bolt now. These come joint together. So this bolt was screwed down on the screw, and it did take some getting off. You will need to go and get something to hold the screw in place whilst you try and turn the bolt with something. So that was quite a fiddly part of it. And then we can see here that the wire is taped up, and we need to untape that, otherwise we can't push the steering wheel all the way down. So you need to get this sellotape off carefully. There we go. Remove that. Okay, right, so you can see we connected the steering wheel. You can see here we've got holes going through this part, which we need to match up with the holes in the steering wheel column. So if we push that down, there we go. I don't know if those wires are meant to go in. It might be worth pushing them in a little bit, actually. There we go. Push that through, that'll be better. I'm sure that must be what you're meant to do. And then push that in. Then we're going to put one side of the screw in. Get it through. Okay, and then we have got our little nut bolt here. Try and get to that. This has been the fiddliest part so far. So that's quite good going, really, isn't it? Considering we've already got the wheels on and the motor attached. I'm not quite sure how we're going to do this. I think we might have to tighten it from the screw side. So if I spin it round. Okay, put this bolt back in. What I'm going to do is hold my finger on the bolt and then screw the screw in. That'll keep the bolt still. so the screw can go straight into it. I think that's as tight as I can get it. And I can see there that the wheels are turning when we move the steering wheel around, so we've obviously done something right. Okay, so next up on our instructions, we are going to put all of the windows on. So here are our windows. And these parts here. Okay, so these are our door windows, and if we have a look here, the highest part's going to go towards the front of the car. So they look like they're going to just slot into place. Okay, there we go. Then we can pop the other one on. Right. Okay. Now they do go further in than you think on first thought, so you kind of really have to give them quite a push into the door slots. And then this is for the front, so they should also just slot into place. There we go, there's one. Pop the other one on. Get it right way around, that's way around. There we go. Okay, so lastly, we are going to have to screw in the seat unit. Here is our seat unit, and the screws I can see are already on there for us. So let's have a look and see what it's telling us to do. We'll need to take these little plastic washers off of the screws, get them off. I don't know if we need them, so I'll keep them safe for now. Then the seat unit is going to go across all of these motor bits here. So obviously if you never ever need access to it, you're just going to have to pull the seat unit off, unscrew it, which doesn't seem like that would be too difficult to do. And then pop those screws in place. Let's check I've got the hole there. Yep. And find our screwdriver. And the next one. Now you could probably screw them down a bit more, but I think that will do for now. Okay, right, there we go. So we've got it all together, and what I'm going to need to do next is put this on charge, because I can't show you any of it working until we've done that. So I will pop it on charge, but in the meantime, in terms of assembling it, that was really easy, to be honest. It looks like it's going to be quite hard because there's a lot of parts, but that was done in real time, so that's taken me, what, about 10 minutes to do, if that. So really simple to do. The only thing that I found a little bit difficult was when we put this steering column on, we had to get the bolt off of the screw, which was really tightly put onto the screw. Other than that, it was pretty simple. So I'm going to put this on charge, and once it's charged, I'll come back to you and then we can have a look at everything it does. Just before I pop it on charge, because as I turned off and went to put it on charge, I realised I didn't actually know where we plug the charger into, but I found it. So you can see just here, this little lightning sign with the battery. Here is where we're going to charge. Put the charger in. Pop that in. So obviously the charger comes with the product, so you don't have to worry about anything like that. And we can get this plugged in over here. Right. There we go. Okay, so we'll leave it to it, and I'll come back to you once it's all charged up. So I've come back to this after it's been charging for 15 hours, and now we're going to turn it on and have a look and see what it does and what lights up. So let's go for it. So you're going to press this red button here. Oh, there we go for this. And there you can see all the flashing lights. That looks brilliant, doesn't it? And from what I can see, these parts don't light up. So I thought initially they would do, but they don't light up. But not a problem when you've got all of these great lights on here. And if we have a look inside, let's press on these. Okay, so these are the horns. And then we have here little light up petrol gauge and a light up speedometer. And here is the little part that you use to make it go forward and to reverse it. And inside we've got the pedal there. And here is a safety strap, so you can strap your child in when they're driving on it on their own. And we can see here with the doors, they swing up. That's a really nice touch. And if we turn it round, let's have a look at the back. There we go, loads of detail on the back, brilliant grille there, and all the exhausts and everything else as well. So really, really nice. And what child isn't going to love that? I mean, an electric car is pretty much every child's dream. So they are going to love this. We can see from inside there is quite a bit of room. You're probably going to have an age limit on that. I'd say, at a guess, something like 8 or 9 years old. Your child's probably, their legs are probably going to be too long at that point to get themselves comfortably in the car. But you can use this, as I said, from 3 years old. So you're going to get plenty of years of use from this. And there'll be, could you imagine getting this on Christmas Day or on your birthday? You'd be so happy, wouldn't you? So overall, this is brilliant. What a nice gift to give a child. It's a really good price point of a couple of £100. So although it is expensive, it's not too overboard, especially if you were going to club together with the grandparents, aunties, uncles, whoever else might want to club in to get this for your child. So a brilliant gift. Hauck have done really well on this with all of the details. The lights really make it very attractive for your child as well. There are other electric cars available in the Hauck range. They do Paw Patrol cars as well in a couple of different colourways. So that is the Hauck E-Batmobile. Retails at a couple of £100. You could see from the video, it's really not difficult to put this together at all. It was quite simple. The instructions were really easy to follow. The only thing I would suggest is that perhaps you build this before giving it to your child, because of the amount of time it takes to charge before they can use it. They'll probably be quite disappointed if they open it and they can't get straight into it. So it would be a great idea to get it out of the box, build it, get it all charged up, and then perhaps wrap it, put a ribbon around it, however you want to present it, so that your child can get straight in there when they open it up. If you want any more details at all, you can go on to buggybaby.co.uk. If you've got any questions, leave them in the comments. Thanks for watching.